Welcome back to the Eric Krown crypto channel, coming at you from a completely new location right now, somewhere in the middle of Greece, and we have plenty to discuss on this lovely little Friday over here as we get prepared for realistically a big closure today and follow up on the big closure from yesterday and how that kind of influences price action for the next week, probably even next couple weeks to come. Anyways, without further ado, let's just jump into it right now. I should probably let you know, however, that I've been doing a lot of updates on Instagram recently, which there is a link in the description below, and then also Bybit has a pretty killer promotion going on right now where essentially they're offering 0% on maker fees for not just spot orders, but also derivatives as well. Something that I actually quite care about. So anyways, let's just get into this right on over here. Started off with the short-term timeframes first, and then we'll go into the higher-term timeframes. So first things first, Bitcoin in a nice tightening range over here, of which that gives the opportunity for a nice explosive move. In this case, we have a few indications for what is likely to be expected here, but they are obviously awaiting validation. Now, I put out a shorts video on this last night, I believe on Instagram, and basically it is this. Bitcoin top side of the range at 19,675, bottom side of the range at about 18,400 or so. Now, the easy portion of this is to look at a breakout towards the top side of the range, which would be confirmed very specifically with any sort of a full hour closure above 19,675. If we see an hourly closure even above the prior wick high over here, that would also probably work as well for very, very likely a nice move into the top side of the prior range highs, somewhere around the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement here at about 20,500 or so. Probably stop along the way at 20,000 bucks as well for a little bit of a short-term pullback if that were to be confirmed. But here's the thing, as I have kind of marked off over here, there is potential, or this is like a terrible drawing, sorry. There is potential for hidden bearish divergence of 1-2 drives variety right there between this high and this potential high over here. Obviously, this would be awaiting confirmation on the other side for a local high. So how would you confirm this as a local high? Kind of the same thing as yesterday. Any sort of a 4-hour closure, basically below about 19,100 would do it for me. Here's the thing though, when we go over and check out stochastic momentum, I do believe that a lot of these pivots are coming in within this same sort of realm here, which can kind of give us a bias on direction. So starting off with the daily, we do see that the daily is pivoted at 19,369, which is like literally where price action is right now, give or take about 10 bucks. If we march it down to the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame is pivoted at where? Oh, that's interesting, 19,130. So that number coming up on the 4-hour time frame very specifically. If that were to confirm with a closure below that region, thus confirming stochastic momentum to the downside, thus confirming hidden bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame, I would be looking for another strike at the current low side of the range, which is about 18,500 or so. The thing with that is, however, is that obviously coming back down to the bottom side of the range, that does produce the possibility, the potential for an actual range break to the downside. And at that point, I would be looking for a move somewhere just south of 18,000 bucks. So that's kind of what's at stake in the short-term timeframes here. We probably get resolution on that today. Here's the thing though, all the action, all the fun action, I should say, is happening on the higher term timeframe. So first things first, I wanted to follow up on the 2-day timeframe because that one is closing tonight, and then we'll follow up on the 5-day, which closed last night. But the 2-day timeframe is still very much active here. And the reason why I think it's going to take a lot of precedence today is because if we do see a range resolution to the upside, we're going to naturally see the signal probably play out to the upside as well. Anyways, what is the signal as it is right now? Well, the signal is this 2-day BBWP, which represents volatility. So it's just a volatility metric getting down to extreme lows, which I define as anything below 10 percentile or more, and expanding from those extreme lows. We have seen an average move over the past 5 years. You can see all back tested right here, of about almost 35%, down over the course from the signal given at about 2.5 weeks. And if we were to look at the first standard deviation for these results, that would represent a range between about 25.5% all the way up to 44%. So we still have not seen an actual confirmed signal on this just yet. It could happen as soon as tonight, yes, but for right now, the 2-day stochastic momentum oscillator is still pointed to the downside. Guess where the pivot is? Oh, that's rather interesting, 19,775. So if we go back over here to the short-term timeframes, if you do see a range resolution to the upside, you're very likely going to see that condition for the upside met, and very likely a short-term rally somewhere around 20,500 or a little bit more than that, 2550, somewhere around there. And then that would set up the potential for more, obviously, as well, because we're looking at a move on average between about 25% to, what was it, like 40%, somewhere around there. Of course, here's the thing. as long as this is angled to the downside and as long as this condition is met to the downside, the probability of this breaking to further lows is significantly higher. If we were to look at the actual data on this, the stochastic oscillator has gone the correct direction on that volatility expansion about 84.5% of the time. So it's not perfect. We're talking about statistics, not certainties here, obviously, but a very, very high probability if that condition continues to be met coming into the next closure, which again is happening tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anyways, we can play around with numbers for a second here. I'm just going to take the low side of the first standard deviation, kind of plot these numbers for right now. In this case, 25% down would put Bitcoin at about $15,500, if I can actually get it down there. But yeah, somewhere around there, about $15,500. If we do see it come to the upside, however, that would put Bitcoin at about 23.5. And again, that's just the lower end of the first standard deviation. So big closure coming in tonight. Here's the thing, though. If we go to the 5-day time frame, which was the one that closed last night, similar setups over here. Sorry, let me go to the right one. Is this the right one? Yes, it is. Okay, beautiful. Similar setup over here in the sense that 5-day BBWP, again, just volatility metric, getting down to extreme lows and expanding from these extreme lows, has led to an average move over the past 4 years of, well, about 42%, done over the course of just under 37 days. And the first deviation represents a range between about 35% all the way up to 49.5%. The reason why this one is relevant because the 5-day closed last night. And guess where the pivot is for the new 5-day period? 19,450. Now, this signal, unlike the 2-day signal, had already been confirmed on the rejection from $25,000 about a month ago, which is actually rather interesting here because the average days taken for this signal is about 37 days. And if this started in middle of August, we're kind of around that area now. So we would be expecting that the signal is potentially coming into an end here. So in the next 5-day period, so it's, not happening today or tomorrow, but next week, if we see Bitcoin close above this momentum pivot, we can officially say that the signal has been resolved. We've seen the totality of it. And it was a pretty significant signal, definitely. But, playing out a move of about 30% or so, or sorry, close, about 29% or so, so pretty damn close there. I'd say that's within the realm of reason for the lower end of the first deviation, which again represents where we expect 68% of the results to be. So, still a little bit outside of there. That's fair game. We've actually seen a more recent one go for 26% over here. So I would say that that's not like super out of the ordinary. It's certainly not normal for the signal. As you can see, most of these getting 30% or more. But in that case, close enough is close enough. So that would be a good indication that we're going to see the end of this signal and then the 2-day takeover. But as long as these conditions are met to the downside, it is still statistically more likely to break to the downside. As of right now. So today's a very, 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 very important closure. And I suspect that that's a good place to be leaving off on this video. Again, going back to the short-term timeframes over here, the quickest way that I kind of confirm this before tonight's potential 2-day closure would be a range resolution of the 4-hour range here. Again, either above about 19,675 on a closing basis or below that confirming a lower high right here at about 19,100 or so. And thus confirming another move back down to the bottom side of the range. So that is going to be a big focus for the next 24 hours. Like I said, I'm here away from my main battle station, so I have a limited connectivity. I'm doing my best to get back to everyone that's reached out to me, but please understand that, we're trying to enjoy ourselves on vacation right now, take a little bit of time away. So response times may be limited, but we'll do our best. And then, I think that's about it for today's video. I hope that this one serves you well. Much love, take care, and see you hopefully soon.